Hey BookTube, welcome to the Paperback Junkie. First off, I would like to give a big thank you to Ben Sanders for talking about my channel on his newbie thing. That was awesome. I appreciate it, sir. You are a scholar and a gentleman. And all the kind words. That was really awesome. Thank you. But today, what I want to do is talk about how I review books, like what I'm looking for in most of the books I read. And it's because I read crap, okay? Like I read trashy, hard-boiled, lurid paperbacks and all that other stuff. That's like my favorite thing in the world. Although Breakfast of Champions by Kurt Vonnegut's my favorite book ever, the stuff that I read for entertainment. For the most part, I'm not trying to read great literature or anything like that. I did all that when I was younger, and that was cool, and it opened me up to a lot of stuff, but it wasn't as entertaining as what I read now. And it's basically one of those things like, you know, like you go on Netflix and you could either watch this amazing documentary about insects in the rainforest that would really teach you a lot and really give you a different way to see the world kind of thing. Or you could watch frickin' Justified or something and just have your mind blown by awesome storytelling. And that's kind of where I'm at. I do try to throw in some great classics every once in a while, but I'm not looking to be able to have a debate on Tolstoy with you. You know, I want to fucking read awesome shit that's entertaining. So that's kind of where I'm at. But inside that bubble, there are certain things I look for and certain things that I stay away from. So I made a short list of the things that I definitely look for when it comes to the books that I'm reading, okay? And there's about 6 guidelines here, okay? So we'll just jump right into it. So number 1, okay, it has to start off with a bang. Like something amazing has to happen very, very quickly. I've read a lot of books where the first chapter is kind of introducing you to a character and the way he eats breakfast, or the kind of shoes that he wears, or just some like kind of slow burn introduction to this character, which is fine, especially if it's a standalone book and the book's freaking thick as hell. But if it's a series book, we'll get to series stuff in a little bit, but basically it has to start off with a bang, and that's why I absolutely dig Carter Brown, because every Carter Brown book, like within the first couple pages, something so freaking catastrophic or astronomical has happened that starts the story off, you know? And so, and a lot of times, like, I'm going to be posting a review for Mickey Explains the Body Lovers later today. And even that book, with all the problems that I think that book had, the book opens up with Mike Hammer walking down the street and, for really no reason at all, finding the body of a woman and some like garbage kind of stuff. Nothing about why he was there, nothing about what he was doing walking down the street for no fucking reason. Like, it just starts off with him finding a body, okay? So that's good shit, and that gets you right into it. So that's what I like. So I'll know really soon as I'm reading a book if I'm gonna like where it's going and stuff. So, number dos. okay? More thriller, less filler, okay? And that's just how it is. When I'm reading a book and it's a plot-driven mystery or something like that, the last thing I want to know, how this guy or this girl, like what their family life's like, what kind of bills they have, what's going on their favorite TV show they're watching. Or just, like, I want the story to fucking move. And if what you're telling me doesn't move the story, then that technically shouldn't be there. If it's there, you're selling paper. You're not selling a story. That's how I see it. So when you're reading a book and it's like just going and you're like turning pages like nobody's business, and then you get to this part where he's having a very quiet dinner with his wife and they're barely speaking and they're sitting really far apart, and a chapter of this utter nonsense goes on just to tell you that maybe him and his wife aren't getting along too good. You're selling paper, okay? Like, if it's not moving the story along, it shouldn't be in the book. And that's why a lot of writing coaches will tell you, like, okay, you have your book, okay, throw away your first chapter and your last chapter, or your first 2 chapters and your last 2 chapters, because it's not important, okay? And stuff like that, it really gets me. So, and if I'm gonna DNF a book, it's gonna be because of that, because I'm following a story and then suddenly there's a subplot of maybe the husband and wife are thinking about adopting a kid out of nowhere. It has nothing to do with the fucking book. It just, they have now decided that they're going to have this fucking conversation, and I'm not interested. So, number 3, less chat, more splat. Now, what this really is referring to, really bad dialogue. Like, dialogue isn't everybody's strong suit. Not everybody is Raymond Chandler, okay? And that's okay. If you're not Raymond Chandler and you can't write super quick-witted, amazing dialogue, then fucking focus your skills on telling the story then. But when I'm reading a book and people are just going and going and going with this shit dialogue. Here's a good example, okay, of a book that's a really good book that has pretty shitty dialogue. James Cain's Double Indemnity. This is a great book, okay? It's not my favorite of his, but it is a good book. Dialogue is wretched. I will not stay here and listen to such things. Okay. I'm going. Okay. I'm going this minute. Okay. There it is. And that might not be the best example in the world, but there's a lot of dialogue like that in here. And that's not the only book. Especially with newer authors and newer books, I find myself getting annoyed with the dialogue more than anything, because it feels like they're trying so hard to write witty dialogue, and witty dialogue is not everybody's strong suit. So whatever you're good at, do that. Don't try to be Raymond Chandler or Kurt Vonnegut or what have you. And then the splat would be, I would rather somebody like fall off a building and that be something interesting in the book than hearing somebody have a really awful, shitty conversation. Number 4, sex in a book is good when it's done properly. When sex in a book is done bad, I cringe and I don't want to read it. And there are a lot of authors that go right to the line and then, like, they're on the line and then they just don't cross it. Good examples of this, Max Allan Collins in the Quarry books. Like, there's just enough sex in there to have you know that they're getting dirty and shit's getting fancy. But they don't just, like, bang on about it, you know? Like, the last thing I want to hear in any book is the words they're moaning out to each other in the throes of passion. Okay? That is just cringy to me. All right? Everyone watching this who is of age may have slept with someone before. Okay? So we know how that works. I don't need you to walk through every single process of sex with me. I haven't killed a lot of people, so I'm way more interested in hearing about that than I am in having sex, because I've done that. Just like you wouldn't write a book about, oh, he cracked the egg and the egg fell in the pan. It sizzled. He didn't like the yolk, so he gently pressed the fork into the yolk and moved it around until the yolk mixed with the white of the egg. He put pepper on it, shook it with such passion. Okay, we know how to fucking cook an egg. Everyone has cooked an egg, okay? So that's why no one in a book tells you how to fucking do that, all right? And it's the same thing with sex. Like, most people have done it, and they know the ins and outs of it. All right, but seriously, another thing is, I guess I'm already off my list. I wrote down a list and I'm coming up with more stuff. So I think this is number 5, political views of my characters. Okay? I don't talk about politics or religion with anybody I know for a reason, because it pisses everybody off and everybody gets all uppity about it. So, see, my dog's even pissed off with me just bringing it up. So the last thing that I'm going to want to read when I'm like totally like in with this character and I'm like, oh yeah, this is great, this character, I'm way behind him. He starts preaching about some fucking injustice, or starts preaching about those damn hippies, or whatever the fuck it is they're preaching about. If there is preachy shit in a book, I'm like totally turned off, and I'm not very interested in that character anymore. Which, by the way, is why I'm having such a problem with the John McDonald Travis McGee books, because Travis McGee is basically a philosophical martyr. Like, the books are so good, and then like he'll spout off 3 pages of how he's so upset about how tourists have turned Mexico into something filthy. And it's just like, motherfucker, doesn't help the book. So focus here, dude. You're on a case. You know, that's what I want to know about. And then they come around and an amazing ending happens, and then I have 2 chapters of views and beliefs. I'm having a really hard time. These books, for me, are entertainment, and they are an escape. And the last thing I want from a book that is trying to entertain me and that I'm trying to escape through is for them to bring up like relevant social shit about today. Like, I don't want to fucking do that. I could watch the news for that kind of shit, and I don't want to do that. So this would be number 6, I think. I either want a great twist or a great reveal. Now, twists are something that I think have become super cliche in literature, like any kind of mystery of any kind. And it's getting to the point now where in newer books, if you don't have like 3 or 4 twists in it, like, you're an idiot, you know? So if you're gonna have a twist, use it sparingly, okay? If the book is just twist after twist after twist after twist, I'm gonna get dizzy, okay? If you don't have a twist, I want a great reveal, like when they find out who the baddie is or something. I want that reveal to be so breathtaking that I'm like, and I'm just like, holy shit, I can't believe that just happened. That's awesome. I don't need twist after twist after twist. A good twist or a great reveal, boom, I'm done. This kind of goes with a couple of the things that I was saying, but so number 7 is if I'm reading a series book, not a serial book, but like a series book where in every book the characters are introduced. They're basically the same characters in every book, and we're just following them along, okay, with different mysteries or different cases or something like that. I don't need huge character updates because they're not really that important. There are certain characters in like fiction who are kind of timeless, and they kind of sit outside of time, and they don't age like other characters age, like other books age or whatever. Their job is to solve mysteries or what have you. And if that's the case, let that be the case. There are so few exceptions to this rule where I actually want to know more about the character. And just because it's fresh in my mind, the only example of this that actually works for me is Mike Hammer and Velda in the Mike Hammer series by Mickey Spillane, but because it's like this whole will they or won't they kind of thing. But he still does stupid shit. So it's like, if he's still gonna be sleeping with a bunch of chicks to try to get information or whatever the fuck he's trying to do, I need them to ease up, or I need Mickey Spillane in the past to ease up on this will they or won't they relationship angle. Because every time he bags another chick, it makes all the other shit I read earlier about their relationship almost seem pointless. And she's never going to find out about it, and it never comes up, so it's not a plot device. It's just, it's fucking, like, it's very close to being too much for me. I guess the last one here, I don't even remember what number I'm on, I'm going to say 8, is a great cover. I am a sucker for a great minimalistic cover, or like a Robert McGinnis cover with some beautiful painting of some hot chick. I don't know what to tell you. I'm a dude, and that's what I like. So I know you can't judge the book by the cover, but having a beautiful, amazing cover really fucking helps. That's kind of my bit. I did 8 already, so let's say 9. 9 would be specific to the crime genre, and I'm talking about books that are basically either told from a point of view of the criminal, or told from the point of view of somebody who got caught like in the wrong place at the wrong time. Like a lot of Gil Brewer stuff is a guy who isn't the villain, let's say, but he's a really shady character, or he's doing really shady stuff. Now, there is a line where you need to feel compassion for your protagonist, okay? And if the protagonist of the book is a complete piece of shit, it is so hard for me to get invested in that character. A book that did it really good, and it's probably like my favorite just straight up crime novel, is Swag by Elmore Leonard. And the characters, even though they're criminals, are so fucking likable. It's a great book. The audiobook is really good too. If you have the chance to listen to the audiobook, listen to it. Reading it's great too. But that's like the right way to do it. And the Gil Brewer way, it took me a while to get into his stuff, because every book of his I was reading, the character was quite despicable, but you had to kind of like pull for him anyway. Another one is Jim Thompson. Like, his protagonists are horrible people a lot of the time, and you have to like root for them. So it's like a weird dichotomy, and it makes you feel really awkward. So that has to be handled with great care if it's a crime novel. And those are pretty much the things I look for when I am kind of judging a book or reviewing a book. And I'll try to make those things more clear in my reviews, because the reviews that I've posted, it's like this part of the video is me gushing and this part of the video is me not gushing. So I'm going to try to hit those a little bit harder and kind of get into it a little bit more. Last thing is, this wasn't supposed to be a tag video, but I'm really interested to see what some people think about it. So there are some people who I've been watching a lot lately, and I would love to hear like what they look for when they're reading a book. Like, what are like the top things, you know? So I want to tag Peter Likes Books, Ben Sanders, of course, Steve Donahue, and The Shades of Orange, and Beardy Adventures. That's a lot of tags. And if you're watching this, consider yourself tagged. Do it. I'd love to hear what people look for. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this long ass video about things I like and don't like. If you are really interested in this and it's fun, please talk to me about it and subscribe, and then we could high five, boom, and then we just like have conversations together because they're fun. So until next time, everybody, look both ways before crossing the street.